يجب أن ينتهي.
أن ينتهي وين؟
بس
بقطاع غزة؟
ينتهي إلى، لا بتكلم عنه كل الأراضي الفلسطينية.
كل الأراضي الفلسطينية، يعني زوال إسرائيل؟
طبعا.
Anyone who thinks it is a viable option for Israel to agree to a ceasefire whereby Hamas still remain in power needs to watch this.
إسرائيل دولة لا مقام لها على أرضنا، إحنا الدولة لابد أن نزيلها، لأنه بالفعل هي تعتبر كارثة أمنية وعسكرية وسياسية للأمة العربية والإسلامية، يجب أن تنتهي. لذلك إحنا لا نخجل من نقول ذلك بكل قوة، إنه إسرائيل لازم نأدبها، وحنأدبها مرة ثانية وثالثة، ومش هذا حتكون طوفان الأقصى أول مرة، لا حتكون ثاني وثالث ورابعة، لأنه إحنا لدينا إصرار ولدينا قرار ولدينا إمكانيات أن نقاتل نعم. وأن نحارب، لكن كما قلت لك بدنا ندفع ثمن. نعم إحنا مستعدين، معلش بدي أقول لك بشكل واضح، إحنا اسمنا شعب الشهداء وبنفخر أن نقدم شهداء، إحنا لا نريد أن نمس لا بالمدنيين ولا أن نلحق الأذى بهم، لكن أوقات لأنه في تعقيدات في الميدان صارت في منطقة موجودة، وكان هناك في احتفال وكان في سكان وفي منطقة واسعة ليست سهلة على امتداد تقريبا 40 كيلومتر. يجب أن ننتهي.
أن ينتهي وين؟
بس
بقطاع غزة؟
ينتهي إلى، لا بتكلم عنه كل الأراضي الفلسطينية.
كل الأراضي الفلسطينية، يعني زوال إسرائيل؟
طبعا. وجود إسرائيل.
There we go. Very, very clear there. That is a senior Hamas member saying that the annihilation of Israel is absolutely necessary. They will repeat October 7th again and again and again until they achieve their aim, and they are happy to die for the cause. Let's not forget how fundamentalism works, how these crazy Islamist ideologies work. They say that you should be willing to die for the cause, and the way that they convince people to die for the cause, for the annihilation of Israel, is by telling them that you will live a better life in the afterlife than you do when you're alive on this earth. You will get to heaven, you'll be closer to Allah, you'll have your 72 virgins if you put on a suicide vest and kill people with it, right? That is the mentality of these idiots. That's why Hamas, they do not care if civilians die. They do not care if they use civilians as human shields. Israel are the ones who care about civilians. Israel are the ones who are allowing tons and tons of aid into Gaza, but 60% of it is not even being picked up by the UN. Yet they are the ones getting the blame for everything. If Israel decides to just put their hands up and say, oh no, we'll stop fighting, yet Hamas, they can stay in power, we can live peacefully together, is absolutely deluded, because Hamas are very, very clear. They will do this again and again and again until Israel is just destroyed, because that is their number one aim. They're not keeping it a secret. They are saying it live on television. Let's listen to the rest of this.
غير منطقي. وجود إسرائيل هو اللي بخلق كل هذه الآلام والعذابات والدموع والدماء. هي إسرائيل مش إحنا ضحية الاحتلال، نقطة وآخر السطر. لذلك ما حدا يلومنا، إحنا شو اللي بنعمله في 7 أكتوبر، في 10 أكتوبر، في مليون أكتوبر، إحنا اللي بنعمل مبرر. It is justified.
Everything we do is justified, it's saying. They're raping girls and shooting them in their parts afterwards or before, raping girls that are dead, all the horrific things they did, cooking babies in ovens. Hamas say everything is justified, okay? Israel, on the other hand, they go through very, very strict procedures to make sure that they do everything that they can to safeguard civilian lives, whilst dealing with Hamas, who are trying desperately to use those humans as human shields. And Hamas, you had one of the Hamas leaders himself say that we need to maximize civilian casualties because it makes Israel look evil on the world stage. Hamas are the ones happy for civilians to die. They want civilians to die. They're happy for people to be martyrs. Yet Israel gets the blame for everything. You're not hearing it from me. You're hearing it from the senior Hamas member right there. Let's just remind ourselves of his name, Ghazi Hamad from the Hamas Political Bureau. Now that was in October 2023, shortly after the horrific October 7th attacks. As you can clearly see there, no remorse whatsoever at all for what they did to those people, and in particular those girls at the Nova Festival on October 7th. Okay, I think it's very important for us to remind ourselves who Hamas really are, the monsters they really are, at a time when we have Keir Starmer standing up saying, I will recognise a Palestinian state if Israel doesn't agree to a ceasefire by September, if Israel doesn't allow the UN to continue distributing aid. Okay? Israel is getting the blame over and over and over again. I've just been on the Sky News website looking at the news. I mean, it is insane how anti-Israeli they are. It used to be a news organisation that I quite liked. I used to always watch Sky News when I was younger, but I go on their site now and there is just no balance whatsoever. They are painting Israel as these criminals who are just going around murdering children for the fun of it. No criticism of Hamas. Do they know who Hamas really are? The world has gone so soft on them. It's a huge propaganda machine, Hamas. I mean, it's you know, they have people making these fake videos pretending children are dead when they're not dead. I'm not pretending for a second that children aren't dying in Gaza, but the idea that Israel are the evil ones here, A, and B, that Israel should just stop fighting and allow Hamas to stay in power is for the birds, because all that is doing is delaying the inevitable, which is another repeat of October 7th. You're not just hearing it from me, you heard it from that senior Hamas member right there, saying we will do it again and again and again until Israel is annihilated. Do not forget who these monsters are. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video. Let me know what you thought of this in the comments below. I'm Chloe Dobbs. Thank you for watching, and make sure you hit subscribe as well as that notification bell so you don't miss out on our videos. And it's a very small thing you can do that's completely free that massively helps us. Thanks so much for watching.